Good day, folks. How's everyone doing? I'm sitting here with Sister Honey and my son Tommy. We're excited to be here on another portal. The portal is open, creating safety for what's coming. So we got a lot of stuff. Sister Honey's going to be digging into a lot of stuff. My son Tommy's going to be digging a lot of stuff. I've got some stuff that I'm going to be showing you. Make sure that you like, subscribe, share, get this content everywhere. The more we get it to, the more it's going to help people. Just take a look at some of the comments on Sister Honey's, YouTube channel, Stephanie Powers YouTube channel, and my son Tommy's YouTube channel. So spread the love, spread the love. Sister Honey, let's start with you tonight because I know we've talked about, this is the first year of a 9-year cycle. It's also next month, the fire horse is coming in. We're also in the third year of Pluto in Aquarius, and we've got a lot of stuff happening. So why don't you give everybody kind of a quick, energetic update on
But,
where we're currently at? What do you
but
say, son? Go ahead.
before we do that, I just want to congratulate you, honey, on your book and being a international bestseller and a bestseller. I'm super proud of you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And another thing that happened, son, that she doesn't even know about and you don't know about, she hit 6.5 million views on her YouTube channel. So I just got a notice from vidIQ that Sister Honey hit 6.5 million views. So that's another
Wow.
big milestone. Most YouTube channels don't even get close to anything resembling that. So congratulations, Sister.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a very wild ride. I'm very grateful. So, and I want to say thank you to all of you guys for buying the book, for hopefully enjoying the book. And it was a really fun party. So, really the energies are wild. We're still in the year of the snake. So, a lot of knowledge is coming out. Some of it's kind of corrupted. So, just be aware of that. Like, a lot of this knowledge is created so that people can have a clue about certain things. So don't get too wrapped up in the narratives that are going on. What we're doing is we're collapsing the house of cards that no longer needs to be there. And it could get very icky looking. So I just wouldn't look at it too much. Don't get wrapped up in the details is the main thing. But we're purging a lot of stuff. So as this knowledge is coming out to people who were less aware of it, we're also purging trauma that we don't need anymore. And that's the shedding of the skin. And some of that trauma is very wild as it comes out because some people are not really doing so well, like as far as choosing their timeline. So they're having a hard time, and some people are choosing to leave and they're doing it. They're going out with a bang and not such a nice way. But they're helping us actually work through our trauma in the meantime. So be aware of that. Be very willing to say, okay, this is not what I want to carry, and releasing it. And also be very aware of the energies that are affecting you, because a lot of them are not ours. So I'll go through a process of how to get rid of that, get rid of other people's attachments to you during this broadcast.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff going on. It's interesting because I turned again 60 years young this year, and I am a wood snake, which happens when I was born, and then it happens at 60 years old, because how the Chinese astrology works with the different signs like a snake, but then there's the fire snake, there's the wood snake, there's the water snake, there's the earth snake. And now going into the fire horse and being in this Pluto and Aquarius simultaneously. And now, from what I understand, is the sun is we're getting out of peak. It's going to be calming down after the next few months, going back into a slower cycle. So that kind of correlates what we've been talking about. One of the things, and then we'll go right to TJ here, Tommy, why does January feel quieter or more sensitive for many people? And, what would you say to that, Sister Honey? Like, why does it feel calmer?
Because we are so sensitive right now, we almost have to slow down. We're forced to slow down so that we can actually process releasing all this stuff. So a lot of us are releasing it through our body. A lot of us are crying a lot. We've been a bit more sensitive, I would say, when somebody's being mean, or if something, I don't know, like if you're watching a cat video, you could be crying. It doesn't really matter. There's all kinds of stuff that's bringing up trauma. So just let it out, let it out. Don't scream at other people, but let it out. Get rid of it. We don't need to be carrying it anymore.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I switched over my notes to the other side because I was looking the wrong direction again. It's funny. My son was telling me I had this one setting mirrored. So that's why it always made me look reversed. And I'm like, okay, because he was telling me, son, you were telling me that you had that on for a long time, right? And everybody was telling you that your tattoo was on the other side. You're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I discovered that today. So.
Yeah, so it does happen. I thought people were crazy there for a while, but we've been getting blasted with some pretty big solar flares. Pops. Even now, we had a few normal ones, but a lot of high ones. Man, the Schumann resonance I'm looking at right now, and it seems like it really ramped up around December 21st, and then all the way through Christmas we had a couple normal ones. But yeah, the Schumann resonance, it's like it's really weird. It looks like piano keys, how it goes high, then normal, then high, then normal, and a few normals, a lot of highs. But you got the frequencies going up. What I wanted to talk about too, January, guys. And if you notice, I'm talking a little different. I had surgery on my mouth, so I apologize. January, where do we get the name January? Well, this is for the god Janus, and it's the two-faced god. That's what it was known for. And who is Janus? Janus was the Roman god. A lot of people thought it was a Greek god. He was not. He's one of the oldest Roman deities going back before Rome actually became an empire. And that was about 3,000 years ago. And Janus was worshipped. He was the beginnings and endings, hence the one face facing the front, one face facing the back, the front and the beginnings. So he brings in the end of the old cycle and the beginning of a new. And this is not really our real New Year's. You know how we have New Year's on January 1st. That was when we switched calendars up. We used to go by the 360-day solar calendar. Then we switched it up to the Julian calendar, and now the Gregorian calendar that we go by. But yeah, Janus, nothing was done in Rome without the priest going to this god Janus. Nothing. Not war, not treaties, not public events. And Janus is not either. He's neither evil or good. He's just the god of the gateways, the god of the portals, the god of cycles. So I just wanted to let you know where we get the word January from. It's actually where it comes from. Janus, the ancient god of Rome, which is also the god connected to inner alchemy. For all my people out there that's into alchemy, Janus is real big when it comes to inner alchemy and the gateway of that. So that's all I really wanted to touch
Yeah,
on.
and I want to weigh in on that because I like to always weigh in on controversial stuff. Brother Jimmy loves that. Okay. So here was what I'm going to give you my take about God or gods. There's only one. If you look at God as the beginning, with no beginning, no ending, everything in, it's in everything. Nothing is outside of it. It is the life force, meaning that nothing would exist without it. It's the canvas of eternity. It's the canvas of everything, all of existence, right? That's the true God. All these other entities are just like you and me. But what did they do? They stepped into their power. They understood, like people call, Yahushua Jesus, when there was no J's back then, but let's just say Jesus, okay? Or Yahushua, or whatever you want to say. Why did he, show so much ability? Because he's one of the only incarnated bodies that actually stepped into the entire Christ light and guided by the Holy Spirit. I mean, when you look at the divine creator, okay, whatever you're calling this that I just described to you, okay, the Tao says you can't even give it a name. Okay, you talk to monks and stuff, they talk of the same thing. This is so big, this is so over everybody's head that we don't even comprehend it. But you know what? You're lucky because Brother Jimmy and Sister Honey and my son Tommy are going to be bringing more of that out into what it is. Will it be 100%? No, but it's going to be a lot closer than a lot of these other people are showing, and it's going to tell the truth. There is one God, and that God is the source of all life. And that's the end of it. You know what I mean? All these other things, again, are entities. Like all of us can step into our power. All of us can do these things that Yahushua did, because he said very clearly, you could do these things and more. We all have the Christ light, Christ blueprint, Christ consciousness, whatever you want to call it. That's part of the source, the God. And so is the Spirit. If you call it Holy Spirit, you call it Great Spirit, you call it, I don't know what you call it. But we stay so busy fighting over words and thinking that there was all these gods, and we worship things that we shouldn't even be putting our attention into. Okay, because we're in God. God is in us. We are part of God. We are all one being, all connected. And so let's all raise our frequency in the collective and accelerate this ascension. But it's still going to take decades to get to the other side of this. And we're here to help shepherd you through based on what we're doing. Because, we're going through all of this stuff at the same time you're going through all of this stuff. Back to you, Sister Honey.
Yeah, I think it's really important to remember that we're letting go of hierarchy. And that's what the Greek and Roman gods were doing, was hierarchy, because they had knowledge that wasn't so, like, didn't go through the population, that knowledge. It was knowledge that they had cultivated, they had remembered, and they had created that remembering for themselves. But it also kind of created chaos because they were fighting with each other as well. So there's just a lot of crazy behavior that was happening. And we need to remember that some of those people actually wrote themselves in to some of these books.
Yes.
So hierarchy is going away, and it doesn't matter who you are.
Yes.
You are just as worthy as whoever is standing next to you.
Yes. Yes. And that's a big thing that we have to come to the realization of. Stop all this idol worshiping of all these created.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do want to worship, and do you need to have a relationship? Do you need to give thanks? Do you need to give love for the eternal love for God, the real God, the only God? Yeah. Yeah, but does he want you to sit down there and bow down to him and do all these crazy things that a lot of people do? No, he wants a real relationship. And he doesn't want you focusing, it doesn't want you focusing, because it could be a he, she, whatever, on all this other nonsense. You know, Sister Honey and son, you might want to talk about this too. People are so caught up in the ego, they're so caught up in, like, they wrote themselves in because they want to be worshiped. We got this thing in politics and religion all over the world, and you know, actors and musicians, and you know, all of this idolization. I am really excited to see that all crumble over the next couple of decades.
Go ahead, Tommy.
Oh no, you guys are fine.
No, weigh in there, son. Weigh in there.
Hey, listen, you guys obviously don't like Janus, so I'm gonna step back.
No, I love that you teach people. Look, I know. Yeah, go ahead, Sister Honey.
Well, he was the neutrality person.
Oh,
so why were they going to Janus? They were going because he was neutral.
Yeah, Janus is tied to inner alchemy a lot, and it's the little g god of the gateways. I like to just educate people a little bit when it's the month of January, or where
that's
word comes from, you know.
No, that's awesome. And honestly, it wasn't all of them that were doing that. Some of them were really trying to help humanity, but a lot, you know, there was quite a few of them that were doing some pretty nefarious things. And we have to remember that we were in the middle of polarity. So they weren't only hurting others, they were hurting themselves if they were the shadow being. And they were pretty close to half and half at that point. You know, in the Matrix has been going on for eons. And it used to be much more organic. And recently it's been really distorted. But we're moving out of that distortion now. And you can see it disintegrating in the outside world. And some of us are seeing certain things happen in our own lives that are kind of like, wow, I didn't expect that to happen. You know, or I didn't expect that, you know, person to leave or to melt down, but that's what happened. So you just have to go with the flow and kind of tune in and say, well, what's actually going on? So Janice is the one who you'd go to ask that question. What's really going on? I'm too emotionally attached to this certain thing. You know, I want to go and, you know, have a fight with the Egyptians or whatever. Like, I'm going to go ask Janice if I should do that or not. And Janice will know because he's got a bigger perspective.
Yeah, I always liked mythology and the different where etymology, where words come from, why did we name Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Well, they all came from these gods, the little g's, right? Every day of the week. I just like to learn that stuff, and the average person doesn't know it. So I that little knowledge here and there.
Yeah, that's what you do, son. You're the decoder, right? You haven't only done that in this lifetime, you've done that in many lifetimes before. You're also a person that gets dreams about what's going on and what's happening, what's going to be happening. So this is all a gift. There's no doubt about it. But I know one thing for sure about you. You do not worship all those gods like the people that worshiped all those gods. You're just telling people how these things came to be. And that's great because that's what brings people to us so that then we can teach them how to truly step into their power, because that's all. It's all about that. You know what I mean? There's so many people that need to be, I don't want to say woke up because waking up. There's a lot of people out there that need to be waking up still. So many people.
I don't even think Janus was real, Dad. I think it was like an archetype. You know what I mean? I don't think.
I mean, there's so much lies. There's so much garbage. And so much of it's coming, you know, up to the surface, and more will come up. It's going to come up in its time. But right now, again, we have an opportunity. I mean, there's a lot of good things happening under the seeds, right? I mean,
Mhm.
there's a lot of good things happening. I mean, yes, the government. I mean, you see silver today.
It was
Everybody
like
see
90
silver out there
something, right?
today. I'm
No,
happy.
no,
Yeah.
I'm
but
really happy.
I'm really mad because my neighbor he was hurting the other day, and he had all these bars, and he was like, I'm waiting a couple hours, and then I'm going to take them in and cash them out. I'm waiting for the guy to open the store." And he offered them to me for 200, but I thought he was trying to get over on me. He came back with $400, pops. I should have bought them damn things.
Well, look, you know, I've been doing it for over 10 years, but at the end of the day,
For
I've
the
been talking about it ever since I've gotten on the internet steady from 2020. I've been talking about it because it's God's money, because it's real assets, and everything else we got is paper and it's fake. But all of that is going to be reconciled. Maybe it'll take, you know, from here till 2030 to get the financial system, and Sister Honey will give her take. I don't know.
Oh, I think it's really close.
You think it's really close. I've heard that from other people too. I've
Yeah.
heard that from a friend of mine that has, he says, NDA with the Department of Homeland Security and the Treasury Department. So I've also got one of my business partners is really good friends with Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary of the United States of America. Also, you know, right now there's tremendous percentage of Congress that are, you know, not good, you know what I mean, that have to go. And you're going to see that happening too. So a lot of stuff is happening behind the scenes. We're going to see more and more coming up to the surface. But what are we doing ourselves to increase our frequency, to take care of our nervous system, to take advantage of these portals that are opening up, like the 111 portal that the one on January 1st that happened, the one on Sister Honey's birthday that happened. I think there's another one, son. Is it on 121? That there's another portal or something going on here. There's another moon coming.
I
There's
don't
quite a
know.
bit of
I
stuff
do that
happening.
show tomorrow. Kelly will tell us all the things that are
So good.
happening. You
Yeah.
know, the astrology, but I know at the end of this month, there's a lot of astrology that supports the financial system changing. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll just kind of see where that goes, you know, but it's kind of funny because Mother Earth was laughing when we were talking about it. And she considers gold to be kind of her like snot. So she thinks gold is like boogers. And she makes it whenever she wants. So she thinks it's quite funny how attached we are to it.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah. So,
Well, and the energy's been pretty intense, but I do feel kind of a relief this month. I really feel, even though there's a lot going on under the
mhm.
table, I feel a lot of, you know, relief of that energy happening. So it's really exciting, you know, to, I myself have just been working on, I know somebody said something about getting organized and, you know, cleaning and, you know, structuring, but I do that. That's something that I do. I don't know if that is wrong or right, but it's something that makes me feel comfortable with what I'm doing. By the way, I love that little beautiful comment from Peter. Thank you very much. No, we're not judgmental. I'm the most loving person that you ever want to meet, and so is Sister Honey, and so is my son Tommy. But we have our opinion, and sometimes that might come off whatever way it comes off to you. You need to think about that. Like you know, if something triggers me, I need to think about it.
Mhm.
Why is that triggering me? Why did this person's comment trigger me? Or why did my wife trigger me? Or why did this business partner trigger me? It usually ends up being me at the end of the day, that I have to work on something within myself. But we don't want to be judgmental to anybody. And you can roll over into stepintoyourpower.com, the community over there, and you'll see, and there's folks here, anybody that's in the community, put your comments about how you're feeling about the community, please. If you feel the truth, put the truth down. But we're all about supporting people. We're all about helping you step into your power. And I definitely am going to warn people about worshiping anybody, but focusing on you and focusing on your relationship with the divine, not getting caught up in all of this other stuff, because we are definitely in a time of over idealization of all kinds of stuff, not just people, devices, and all kinds of different stuff. And we really got to slow down, like Sister Honey said, and look at what we should be focusing on, and get rid of all this noise that are in our life.
Yeah.
Back to you, Sister Honey.
Well, I would just say, when you do feel upset by something, think about it for a minute. I mean, we've all been going through a lot of purging, and purging has to do with trauma. Everything that happens starts in your energetic field. So maybe you were bullied in, grade school, and somebody said something really horrible to you. It creates like a little hole in your energetic field. And we've been healing up all of those holes throughout, really since 2020, like in a major way. And when you heal the hole, then it's really easy to heal the body. So once the energetic field is healed, then it's a lot easier. And that means letting go of something. That means not looking through that lens anymore. And maybe it was like a one sentence that made you feel bad about yourself. But once you let go of that, then you're going to feel better. And we've been incrementally letting go over the last 5 years. And we're at the end of the big let now, the big healing. And that has to do with the snake energy, because the snake symbolizes knowledge, and it also sheds its skin. So it lets go of things that it doesn't need anymore. And that's what we're doing. It doesn't always feel good.
No, it doesn't. And a lot of times you don't want to do it. You keep on putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And the energy that's happening isn't allowing us to put it off anymore. It's making us deal with everything. I mean, regardless if it's something in your personal life with your spouse or your children, or it's something business-wise or whatever, it's making us deal with it. Son, you want to weigh in here?
About the snake?
Yeah.
Well, about the snake, and talk a little bit about the year one of this 9-year cycle, and what should people be doing in this first year, based on what running the numbers and what you're seeing with that, so that they can, because again, I'm right now working on, Sister Honey, you and myself, I'm working on the next 20 years, the next 2 decades. And then Sister Honey hit me with a surprise the other day and said, oh, it's going to be 30 years. And I'm like, what? Let me get these first 20 years laid out. But anyways, it's going to be, and based on, by the way, astrology, numerology, timing. So what would you suggest that everybody should be doing right now before the fireworks comes rolling in on December 17th or February 17th? So.
February 17th, yeah. The day of the eclipse, too. That'll be interesting. We get a 2-for-1 that day. So that's going to be fun. So this year, 2026, if you add it up, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6, it's 10, which reduces the 1. So it's a year of 1. It's new beginnings, very similar to what Janus represents. That's why I mentioned it. Self-definition, new beginnings, independence. That's what the number 1 represents. And this is a good year. It's a really good year to start new businesses, start new projects, because we're coming to the end of that 9-year cycle and the start of this whole new thing, right? And then it's a year that begins with the 1, which is a very important number when it comes into leadership and new belief systems, new versions of yourself, reinventing yourself. I know several of my friends that I talk to that they'll be going through a lot of that this year, a rebranding. And it's good to do that under years like this that start with 1s. If you want to reinvent yourself, it's the perfect year to do it under this type of energy. But we'll see a lot of old power structures fall away and new ones come into power during these years like this. It'll be real interesting when we get into that 2028. That's the one I'm waiting for.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that
That'll be the
because
13.
son, do me a favor, run real quick and we'll talk about it. Because I think it's important, and I always tell people to do it, but I don't know how many actually do it. But go ahead and run Pluto and Aquarius for the last 2,000 years or last 1,000 years. What are the big events that happened when Pluto was in Aquarius over the last, couple thousand years? And
Okay.
we'll read that. We'll read that off because I think it's important for everyone to understand that this time is the biggest time, bigger than any time in the last 2,000 years. You can see Sister Honey shaking her head. She knows something. And so does my son. And so do a lot of you out there. This is the biggest time. And it's going to be the biggest amount of change. And every pillar is going to be rebuilt in society, every one. And it's an exciting time, but it can also be a scary time for people. And that's why community is so important. Coming into stepinyourpower.com free. The community's free. Coming in there, going to also to quantumenergywellness.com/power and learning about how to take care of your nervous system. We're building that entire site out to build the largest directory, which we'll start building in February, ongoing until it becomes the largest directory of wellness centers around the world with the most cutting edge sound, frequency, light, DNA, all the technology to get your energy body and your physical body in the right alignment for you to thrive. Now, be careful what I'm saying because, we're on YouTube and Facebook and all that, but that's the bottom line. Once you understand about energy wellness and quantum energy wellness and that we're quantum, and you start working on taking care of that, and you have a community to support you, like we have over at Step in Your Power, and then you start looking at your environment and doing your column exercises on what's serving you and what's not in every single part of your life, and you start optimizing all that stuff, your life transforms. It transforms. And it might be little increments, but it transforms. I've been doing it for a while. My son's watched what's happened to me in real time. Some of you folks out there that's known me for a while, have been following me for a few years, you know the difference from a few years ago. Okay? This stuff works. Mm-hmm. It works. Your thoughts about that, Sister Honey? Community, energy wellness, nervous system care, self-care, all of these things. How important are they right now?
So important. Like, it's the main thing that we need to be doing is paying attention to our own well-being, because we're in a time where we're choosing which timeline we're going to be in. So are you going to stay on Earth and continue to participate in ascension, or are you not? I mean, we're at that choice point right now. 2026 is the last year of the window. So at the end of 2026, and I'm going to say, it's more of the old calendar. So for me, I don't really think it's going to be 2027 January that this is decided. It'll be more like the April 1st date. But we're going to see so much change this year and so many people choosing where they're going to be. Remember, we're eternal. So If somebody chooses to go, they're releasing themselves. Okay. They couldn't get through all the programming and they're going to ascend without their body. You will see them again. I can't even tell you how many people that I've seen pass and I've talked to them after, and I've seen their soul go. And some of them I've participated in their, what do they call that? The life review. So I did that with my dad. So we are never really separate at all. We're in the middle of heaven, of what we would call heaven now. It's the frequency that makes us feel separated. So it's important to remember that and to allow people to do whatever it is that they want. Even if it doesn't really look like they want that, they're still choosing it. So allowing them to do what they are doing and to really take care of your own well-being during this time and make your own decisions about what you want to do. It's really paramount right now.
Yeah, it's so important. So important that we focus on
You
that.
want to
and take
hear
care
about
of each other.
Pluto and Aquarius, Dad?
Yes, 100%. Let's go over that, son.
Okay, so we had in Pluto and Aquarius, guys, of course, we had a lot of things. Damn. American Revolution took place during this. The U.S. state constitution was drafted during Pluto and Aquarius. French Revolution began. Execution of King Louis the Seventh, I believe, 1793. Fall of monarchies across Europe begins. That was 1789 to 1793. So that was basically in that same time span as the French Revolution, because that was 1789. So that about 10 years later is when they executed that king. I mean, just tons of stuff that took place during Pluto in Aquarius. It's crazy. I mean, it seems like every
Major thing.
yeah.
Every major thing in human history that transformed the planet happened during that period of time in most cases.
Mm-hmm.
In
Yeah, I
most
mean, we're
cases.
talking some big things.
That's why you have to be ready for it, both spiritually, emotionally, your energy body, having community, having folks to, help support you, whether that's prayer or sending you energy or however it's done, in a good way. People serving the light, not the darkness, right? But
You know what else happened? That was the break from centralized church authorities, and the Protestant Reformation accelerates during that time. Bible translated into common languages. Printing revolution destabilizes religious power, and the rise of nation states over church rule took place from 1532 to 1553, and that was Pluto and Aquarius cycle.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody can go to ChatGPT or Gemini or Grok or Llama or Google or DuckDuckGo, whatever you want, and do your own research and read this, and then understand that what we're going to go through this time is going to be bigger by far than all of it put together.
Yeah.
By far than all. You want to elaborate on that, Sister Honey? Where do you see, and not that you need to set timelines and all that, because we know it's all the divine's timing. But we're here in 2026, 2026, 2027. My son said something about 2028. So what do you see going on? Let's just take the next 5 years. Let's take 26 through 30. What do you see happening around the world in, with everything? What do you see happening?
So I've seen a lot of what is to come, but 2026 is the end of the window. It's the end of the deciding whether you're going to stay or go. And a lot of people will choose to go in 2026. And also a lot of the holograms will go, where I don't think we're going to have a whole lot of NPCs left. I don't think we'll have any, honestly. So by the end of the 2026, on April 1st of the new calendar in 2027, I think we will be the population that we're going to be as we go through this process, except for there will be a lot of new children born. And the technologies that will be coming out will be tremendous. And a lot of those we'll find out about in 2026. There will be a lot of foundation work begun in 2026. And a lot of celebration and a lot of confusion as well for certain people. So, yeah, it's almost Tommy's birthday.
17th, my firstborn will be 43.
Yep.
43.
Carmine
Well,
had me believing I was turning 44, my oldest son. He had me totally convinced I was turning 44.
Well, that's kind of impossible if I'm 60 and I was getting my head shaved in the U.S. military about 4 months after you were born. So, and I just turned 18.
Yeah, he had me believing it. I think I was telling Honey that earlier. Was I talking to you, Honey?
Yeah, kids are funny.
I was like, I said, I don't know, Honey. I'm either 43 or 44. I'm not sure which one.
So funny.
Yeah. Well, it is an interesting time to be. It's a great time to be alive. I know people will be checking out. There is no death, so you go up in your spirit being. That's okay. There's not just a human being, right? There's not just a human being. There's angelic beings. There's extraterrestrials. There's elementals. I mean, there's so many different types of beings. And so you can just go back up and be a spirit being. My wife was asking me the other day, she said, oh, when you leave, you go right back into another body. That's not the case in all times. Sometimes you're out for a long, long, long time. You're evaluating what happened. Because remember, we're here. We don't remember everything. I'm starting to remember more and more and more. And from what I'm understanding, these next few years, a lot of remembering is going to be happening for the children of the light. Okay, the folks that are working on that connection, a lot of downloads going to be coming about past lives. Is this true, Sister Honey? Because this is what I've been getting to download, that a lot of people will start remembering past and waking up more to who they truly are.
Yeah, they will. And they'll know some of the names of the fractals that are in their body, because we have many pieces of our soul in our body now, and a lot of them have like different names. And they're kind of coming together to be one being while we're here. They all want to participate in this massive event. So basically what we've been doing is going through the procession of the equinoxes. And we are at the end of that procession. And it's been foretold for a very long time that we would basically graduate out at the end. So that's what we're doing right now. We're graduating out, and we're in the fifth density already, but we're carrying a lot of the third density stuff. And that's what we're being forced to let go of right now, because we want to actually participate in the fifth density and participate in the fifth dimension, which is consciousness. So we want to be in the 5D energy, and you can't do that with the sludge of 3D still attached to you. It's like wearing a plastic bag over your body and knowing that it's suffocating you, and knowing that it's like making you sweat and it feels gross, and nobody wants to wear plastic next to their body anymore, even though some people are, because they don't realize what plastic is. But you don't want that. So we have to let go of that energy. And that's what we're being forced to do. not only by the Schumann resonance, but also by Atlas the being and Atlas the spaceship, which will come back around, which has kind of been totally forgotten about at the moment. But that is like all these different frequencies that are helping humanity and pushing all of this trauma up to the surface to be disposed of.
Yeah, it is happening. All of that's coming. You know, I heard the other day that that they had, I don't know if it was an executive order or something happened around the fluoride in the water. And so, you know, and then you see the food happening. Then you see what's going on with the children process getting cut down by a tremendous amount. So then you see other things happening. And again, the whole governments of the world are pretty much on quicksand. I mean, they're really disgusting and, you know, really disgusting. And it's going to be exciting to watch them fall apart and us rebuild something for the people, for the many, not the few, you know, for the majority, not the minority, and everyone having water, food, shelter, energy to be able to not get in that survival hamster wheel of just barely surviving and getting more people thriving and then really participating in rebuilding the new earth, which is going to be beautiful to leave to my son. But my son had a dream about him being, how old were you on that mountain, son? 80?
Yeah, I was
How
old.
young were you?
No, not 80, but like in my 60s.
Okay. But it, you know, it's these Generation
I hope I
Zs,
make
these
it 80.
millennials, these alphas, these younger folks that we want to leave a great planet to. And just like Sister Honey said, there is no death. You just transition. So you don't need to be afraid of it. I used to be afraid of it. My father died at 54 years old. My brother died at 40. So for many, many, many years,
I was scared.
that was weighing on me. I'm sure it was weighing on you too, son. But you know, once I learned that there's no death, that you're just transitioning, that just left me. Just left me. So we don't need to worry about that. You know, we just need to do what we're here to do. And if somebody doesn't want to be here, they'll make that decision and they can go. There's nothing wrong with leaving.
Hey, look, and if we got it all wrong and it just ends and the lights go out, you ain't gonna remember it anyways. So
Well, that might be one timeline, son. That's not my timeline, but that absolutely is going to be one timeline. I can promise you there will be a timeline of all of that fear stuff that everybody talks about will happen. But you're right. If you see a flash, you turn to ash and your soul is gone. So you don't care, right?
yeah, no, you wouldn't know anyways.
Yeah. I really think that most of the people here, I would say 99% of the people here are staying in this timeline because they really are focused on what they're doing. Yeah.
Staying in the good timeline, right?
Yeah,
Staying
in the
the
good
thriving timeline.
Yep. And it's about creation. I mean, that's the thing. We've been fooled into creating more negativity for ourselves. And now we're going to consciously create beauty for ourselves and for the collective. So try and remember that, like, you are the creator of your reality. And we are the creators of the reality outside of us. You know, like if you live in a town, then you are part of the creation of that town. And you really want to focus on that and see what it is that you want and see if you have anything that's blocking that. Because we have ideas that have been basically programmed that are not helping us create, and it's time to let go of those ideas.
Yeah. It's so, so important. It really is important. And, you know, one of the things that we, again, are doing is we've got this community where you can get support so that you can work on your frequency. You've got tools in there free through the practice portal. You have the prayer circle. You have the circle for chat and for posting. We have all of that stuff back there to help people. Okay, to literally help people. Of course, we have Ascension Mastery that is, that are involved in helping support the free community, but also getting involved in, if you want to call it leadership, you want to call it way shower, if you want to call it shepherd, you want to call it, I don't know. Okay. Other people to help people, show them what they are doing that are moving down the right path towards feeding the light, right? Because we're all here to feed the light. Sister Honey said, too many people are feeding the darkness. They're feeding the negativity. They're feeding that fear porn. The nuclear war, the destruction, the tsunamis, the volcanoes going off, all of that stuff they're feeding. Mm-hmm. And that might end up being their reality. I'm working on my frequency, keeping me out of that timeline. Okay? That's my personal preference. Just not to be in that timeline. I don't want to be in that timeline. But also, working on yourself and working on your nervous system. People don't understand the importance of the nervous system and how that really controls so much of what's going on in your life. That fight or flight mode.
Yeah.
Right. The flight or fight, and we're working on something in fight or flight mode. I got a tongue twister there. But we're working on something in body line also, which is, in the quantum energy wellness situation. But, body line is a company that I'm involved in. Sister Honey's helping us with, my son's involved in, and we're in cutting edge, frequency-based technology. And I have been testing out because my wife and folks know this that have known me has problems. If you're in the community, you see some prayer requests. She's had issues with, anxiety and stress and stuff like that. We, over the years, have had people, the ambulance come to our house. I mean, like 87% or 86%, I forget the exact number. You can look it up. Of the people that go into emergency at the hospital is because of anxiety. Mm-hmm. So we got this patch that I'm looking at. Which is the same technology that we use, not the same formulation, but the same technology that we use for the sleep patch and the band and the EMF stuff that we have, the relief patch, which is for pain, purification, all of that for anxiety.
Yeah, that's great.
Depression. Because here's the problem. And this is why I'm working on. I'm actually on a meeting with the guy that our partner that we have on the technology. Is so many people are depressed. So many people have anxiety. So many people are living that way. And if you're living that way, you are attracting it. You are vibrating in it. Your frequency is it. And some people say, well, I can't change it. It just comes up on me. And I understand that. I've been around it. I've seen it. But at the end of the day, we're working on something to help you get through that. Get through that with a natural way based on frequencies.
Yeah. It's really funny. There was several people, at least it looked like there was at least a couple saying, I got to remember to take my bracelet off. I'm not going to be
at night. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wear mine during the day and I take it off pretty much around dinner time to make sure that I can sleep because it definitely gives you extra energy. But I want to just talk about the anxiety and the nervous system for a second. So your nervous system is connected to your digestion, and it basically is part of the electrical system in your body. So when it goes on high alert, not only does your immune system get derailed, but also your brain gets derailed. So it's really important to work with your nervous system every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to keep that energy hygiene going on. And in the community at stepinyourpower.com, we have the portal, practice portal. We have all these energy wellness, energy meditations. We have energy clearing techniques. We have all of that back there for you. And then we're building out on quantumenergywellness.com/power, because we track everybody coming from Step in Your Power, because we have a Patriots network, we have my son's Truth Through network, we have all these things, and we're tracking everything because we're optimizing it, because that's a project that we're doing. That's a sacred project that we're doing, because are we all happy with what's going on with the current healthcare system? I would say not. And do we want to have the latest, greatest technology to be able to get into and to learn about in order to thrive? I think that that's something that's really important. And that's something that we're really going to be working hard on. And folks that are involved in the Ascension Mastery with us will also be able to help bring in qualified wellness centers. So and we're going to have ways that they can help us build that, and together as a team. So that's going to be really super exciting too. But we're getting up on here close to the top of the hour, son. You want to say some things before we go tonight? We're of course going to let ladies close this tonight, but would you like to say anything before we go?
No, just got a lot of cool things coming up, especially in the month of February. If you're a sky gazer, so we got these cool eclipses coming up and stuff. I'm really excited for that. I think it's going to be a really good year, but I also believe, Pia, what's up, girl? How you doing? I also believe a lot of this old has to, collapse and fall away for the new to be born. So we shouldn't worry about that too much or get scared when we see it happening. It's just part of the show, and sit back and enjoy it. That's really all I got to say. And hey, Paula, how you doing? I just want to say hi to a couple of you guys. But that's really all I had, Pops.
Yep. And you, Sister Honey, you want to close her up for us tonight?
Yeah. So let's end with how to clear your field, because a lot of us are being affected by others in our families that are having a hard time, or friends. Some people are getting betrayed a lot right now. People are leaving and then not even telling you why, ghosting you. Like, there's a lot of drama. So what I want you to think about is everybody's got their source within, and it's in the solar plexus. So your piece of God within you is in your solar plexus. And I want you to think about growing that light. Okay. So you can do a lot of different things to keep your energetic field safe. But if you're in a pinch and you're maybe in a situation that you don't like, right in that moment, imagine that light. And what you want to do is breathe in. And every time you breathe in, you expand it. Okay. And you're going to expand it from 2 feet to 4 feet to 6 feet to 10 feet. And as you expand that light, I want you to imagine that it cuts all the cords. It burns them up. Okay. There's no cords that are attached to you anymore as you grow that light out. Okay. And as long as you're not driving, then I want you to put a silver bubble around yourself. Okay. If you're driving, you will become invisible to other drivers. It's not safe. So, put a silver bubble around yourself and keep that energy, your energy only, because the silver is like a mirror and people will not be able to attach. So That's what I would say is a very quick, easy thing to do to keep your energy clear.
And ground, and ground,
Grounding is
and ground,
very
and
important.
ground again.
Yeah.
And I've learned one thing that I'm going to give before we go here tonight is I bought grounding sheets, and I'm going to move to the pad that goes under the sheets because I've been unplugging the sheets. I'm not going to sheet off the bed, so I'm going to go ahead and get one of those pads that go under the sheet. And then I also have a pad, but grounding's so important.
Mhm.
But thank you all for coming tonight. We love you all very much. Thank you for seeing us.
Love you guys.
We
Make
love
sure you
y'all.
share. Take care.
Bye.
Night, family.